Good day to you, wherever you are listening in from, and welcome back to Gold Rush Crypto Daily. I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day, because I've got to tell you, if you're paying attention to what's happening in the market right now, you should be. Today we are talking KASPA. That's right, KS is on everyone's radar right now, and there are some absolutely fascinating signals coming through on the charts and in the community that I really think you need to see before the next move happens. We're talking scarcity, we're talking liquidity, we're talking sentiment that's literally screaming bullish across the board. This could be one of those moments where we look back and ask ourselves why we weren't loading up harder. So if you're already HODLing KASPA, you're going to want to stick around. And if you're on the fence, well, this is going to show you exactly why the smart money is watching this one so closely right now. Alright, let's get right into it. So, Ski Bum Trading just dropped something really interesting about KASPA that I think a lot of people are missing right now, and this is the kind of post that should make you sit up and pay attention because it ties directly into what Bitcoin did, what Bitcoin is still doing, in terms of scarcity and hodler conviction. Here's what he's saying. KASPA is sitting at just over $1 billion market cap right now. $1 billion. And when you look at the on-chain data, something incredible is happening. We've got over 10 million wallets that are simply holding or accumulating during this exact capitulation phase we're in. But the real magic here is the scarcity angle. KASPA is now 94% mined. 94% of the total supply is already out there. And get this, 37% of that supply hasn't moved in over a year. 37%. We're talking about real conviction hodlers here. People who aren't moving their coins, even when prices are down. That's the same dynamic we saw with Bitcoin in previous cycles before the massive runs. This isn't about hype. This is about fundamental supply dynamics becoming scarcer, while demand from those 10 million wallets keeps accumulating on dips. It's textbook bullish. The setup couldn't look more perfect. We've waded through the capitulation. Now we're at the inflection point. And speaking of setup, the Power Law chart for KASPA just came out, and I have to say, this is where things get genuinely interesting from a technical perspective. So there's a team running logarithmic power law regression on KASPA's price versus its days since inception, and they're getting an R-squared fit of 79%. That's not noise. That's a real adhering trend line. That's the kind of pattern you see in assets that have fundamental network growth built into them. Now here's where it gets wild. At 4 cents, where KASPA is trading right now, the Power Law is telling us we're trading at -2 standard deviations below fair value. That means the fair value target on this model is pointing to 26 cents. You do the math, that's a 560% upside from here. And if we extend this out to late 2026, we're looking at projections around $1.35. Now I'm not saying Power Law charts are gospel. What I am saying is that when you see this kind of pattern holding across a Bitcoin-style proof-of-work network like KASPA's block DAG structure, and when you combine it with the scarcity we just talked about, and the hodler accumulation happening right now, you start to see a picture forming. Now let's get tactical for a second. Daily KASPA just broke down the liquidity picture on KAS, and this is something traders need to understand because it tells you exactly where the next moves are likely to come from. So right now we've got sparse liquidity sitting lower, down around 4.1 cents, basically where we are trading right now, but the real story isn't down here. The real story is what's sitting above us. Between 8 cents and 9 cents, there's a massive concentration of liquidity. And here's the thing. That's also where the majority of short positions would get liquidated if price rotates up into that zone. What this means is we could see brief downside probes. Price might dip down to test some lows, hunt a few stops. That's normal market mechanics, but the actual fuel, the real liquidity, the thing that's going to drive volatility and momentum, that's sitting higher. And when price gets up there, shorts become forced buyers. Forced buyers, ladies and gentlemen, equals acceleration. You can't manufacture that kind of momentum in a healthy market. But when you've got a setup like this, sparse liquidity below, concentrated shorts above, capitulation already happened, suddenly you've got a recipe for quick, violent moves higher. And the traders in the community are not sleeping on this. They see it. We see it. The smart money sees it. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough, and I think it's incredibly important sentiment. Because you can have all the technical setups in the world, but if the community isn't behind it, it won't sustain. KASPA just hit second place in CoinMarketCap's community sentiment rankings. Second place, with almost 90% bullish votes. Now, I'm not saying community sentiment is everything, but But I am saying that when you've got nearly 90% of engaged hodlers bullish on a project, despite volatility shaking out weak hands across the entire crypto space, that tells you something. That tells you that the people who actually know Kaspa, who've researched the block DAG technology, who understand why 10 blocks per second matters for scalability, who get why proof of work with KASPA'S architecture is such a compelling story, those people are standing firm. They're not panicking. They're not selling. They're accumulating. That's conviction. That's exactly what we need to see in a market that's ready to move. And it's happening right now. That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That's fundamentals meeting sentiment, meeting a community that believes. Now, the final piece of this puzzle is something that matters a ton for the next move: open interest. And Daily Kaspa just shared a chart that shows us something really important is happening. So back in October, we had that crypto flash crash. You remember that? $19 billion in liquidations across the market. Brutal. Kaspa took a hit like everything else. Open interest plummeted. But here's what's fascinating. It hasn't bounced back. It's stayed flat. And to most people that might sound bearish. Flat OI sounds like nobody cares, right? Wrong. This is actually exactly what you want to see. What that flat open interest is telling us is that the market has washed out. Almost all the aggressive leverage got liquidated. Traders are being cautious this time around. There's no overcrowded positioning. There's no overheated leverage sitting ready to blow up. What that means is the next big move. And I believe there is going to be a next big move. It's not going to be fueled by forced liquidations of longs. It's not going to be artificial. It's going to be driven by real spot demand, by real people who believe in Kaspa, actually buying the asset and holding it. That's a cleaner market. That's a healthier setup. That's exactly the kind of environment where sustainable runs happen. We're sitting in a reset phase right now, and Kaspa is positioned better than most because of it. And you know what really gets me bullish? It's not just the price action. It's not just the on-chain metrics. It's the people building. It's the community stepping up. KASPA'S just announced they're releasing a free order book heat map for the Kaspa community. And I'm not talking about some half-baked tool here. I'm talking about a feature that rivals paid services in quality, and they're giving it away completely free to everyone. Think about what that represents. You've got developers putting in countless late nights after their regular jobs, not because they're getting rich off it, but because they believe in Kaspa, because they want the tools they use to be better for everyone in this ecosystem, because they're building with love, not greed. That's when you know you're in something real. That's when you know there's real conviction in a project. It's not just the marketing. It's not just the hype. It's the people who are actually building the infrastructure, creating the tools, making the ecosystem work better every single day. They're doing it for free. They're doing it out of belief. And that kind of energy, that kind of momentum, that compounds, that attracts more builders, more users, more adoption. That's how you build something that lasts. Listen, I know crypto can feel chaotic. I know the volatility can be intense. I know the uncertainty can make you question whether you're making the right moves. That's normal. That's human. But what we've looked at today, the scarcity, the HODLer conviction, the power law alignment, the clean liquidity setup, the community sentiment, the reset phase, the builders stepping up, all of that is pointing in one direction, and that direction is up. I genuinely appreciate every single one of you tuning in today. Whether you've been with Gold Rush from the beginning or you just found us today, thank you. This community means everything to me. If you found this helpful, smash that like button. Drop your thoughts below. Where do you see Kaspa by the end of the first quarter of 2026? Comment that. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell because we're covering crypto every single day. And trust me, the next 48 hours could be massive. Stay patient. Stay positive. It's all coming together. This is Gold Rush Crypto Daily. Keep your eyes on the charts, your heart in the game, and let's get rich together. And just to be clear, nothing I've shared today is financial advice. These are my observations and analysis based on public data and community posts. Always do your own research. Always invest only what you can afford to lose. The crypto market is volatile, and past performance doesn't guarantee future results.